least good to see that you're on the call, sir. All righty. Well, I want to welcome everybody to the College for All Welcome webinar. Very, very excited. We've been planning and brainstorming so many things in the back end, in the background, I should say, for the last couple of months. And it has been a very crazy couple of months in addition to what we're already doing. So I just want to thank again, not only the panelists, but as well the students, staff, parents for being on this webinar. You are greatly, greatly appreciated for this time. So what I want to do, a couple of things kind of set the stage for what's going to happen today. Because as you can see, there's a lot of faces on here, and I want to make sure that we have enough time to hear from everybody, but also get into some of this information. And also for you to answer some questions or ask some questions that you may all have about College for All. So first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Renato Guerra. I serve as the Director of College Programming for Improve Your Tomorrow. And we have some exciting prizes, students. So you want to make sure you're tuned in up until 5 o'clock. We're going to be raffling off some gift cards, $25, Amazon, DoorDash. So make sure you're tuned in. Okay. So what I want to do next is hand it over to my colleague, Major. He's going to introduce some folks, and then we're going to hear from our partners. Major, take it away.
All right, perfect. Again, my name is Major Rogers. I am the CC Program Manager. So from this point on, until you guys graduate from community college and transfer on, you will be having a number of encounters with myself as well as the CC team. So stay tuned for all that. And right now, I did want to introduce the outreach team. These three individuals have been instrumental on reaching you guys as well as being a filter for the upcoming events. You will be in contact with them to the transition from high school to college. So the first individual is Cynthia Sabalades. Can't pronounce the last name, my apologies. But Cynthia, fortunately, is not on the webinar, but you will get to meet her in the upcoming weeks. And then the next one, I'm going to pass it off to Noelle. Noelle, if you can kind of introduce yourself and then pass it to Andrea.
Hello, my name is Noelle. I am currently an undergrad at UC Davis, and I'm an outreach specialist. So if you have received any texts or emails, they were probably for me. So here is the face, the name, and I pass it on to Andrea.
All right, everyone. Hi, my name is Andrea. I've graduated from UC Berkeley in 2017, and now I'm working on getting my master's, hopefully next year. So we'll see how things go. Just like Noelle said, I've also been that person that's been calling you and sending those text messages and emails. So again, the name to a face, but I'm really excited to see all of you here, and I'm going to pass it back to Major.
All right, thank you all again. Again, that is the outreach specialist team. You will be in contact with them in the upcoming weeks. But at this point, I'm going to pass it on to Mike Casper. So he's going to kind of introduce himself, and then we're just going to filter on from that point.
Good afternoon, Mike Casper, co-founder, COO of Improve Your Tomorrow. Super excited about having you all be a part of the College for All initiative. This one's near and dear to my heart, right? I was once upon a time, I was somebody that had to go, that went through, forgive me, the community college route before transitioning into a four-year institution. So super excited again about having you all, and this is a great opportunity to say the least. Thanks, Major.
Awesome. And what I want to do next, as you can see, there's a line of partners that I want to introduce, and I want to emphasize how incredible this opportunity is and how privileged we are, because none of this really can be done by one entity, not by one person or a small group of people. It takes a lot of people at the table that have influence and have a lot of responsibility on their shoulders to make things happen. So what I want to do is introduce a couple folks. Maybe they can share who they are, what their role is, and just share just a few words, and then we'll get started with the presentation. So first, I want to start off with officially now Dr. Dunn Hunt from UC Davis.
Thank you, Renato, and welcome to all. Really excited to be a part of this organization and this partnership. My name is Don Hunt. I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor for Enrollment Management at UC Davis. And as Renato said, this is an absolute great opportunity to support men of color to make sure that they are successful and graduate from one of our institutions, Sac State or UC Davis. And we are excited to be here to make sure that you know that there is a path forward to our organizations. And this is a great program to ensure that you do make it to a four-year institution and you graduate and you begin your journey in your own careers. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Renato.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, hey, thank you, Renato. Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Henley, and I'm the Director of Admissions and Outreach here at Sacramento State. And we are certainly pleased to enter into this partnership with IYT, the Los Rios Community Colleges, and UC Davis to help you students reach your goal of attaining a four-year degree, as Dr. Hunt said. While your official enrollment at Sac State may be a couple of years away from now, we already think of you students as our students. We'll stay in touch with you while you complete your coursework at the community college, so you'll be prepared to enroll at Sac State in the future. We're here to help you. We're here to help you make that seamless transition into Sac State. For some of you, while we may not have been able to offer you admission for the fall 2021 semester, I want to make it clear. We want you here as a student at Sac State. We believe in you. We believe that you'll be prepared to transfer to Sac State and become a Hornet in the future. And through the College for All program, you'll get all the resources that you need to be successful and reach your dreams of attaining a four-year degree. So again, thank you all. Thank you all who have chosen to participate in the College for All program, and we look forward to seeing you on our campus in the future.
Thanks, Brian. Ray Green.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Ray Green. I serve as the My Brother's Keeper Sacramento coordinator. And what that is, if you remember back in 2014 at the murder of Trayvon Martin, President Barack Obama said that could have been my son, right? My role is to continue to invest and improve life outcomes for local Sacramento boys and young men of color. You all being young men of color, you're a part of that vision, right? And this is allowing us and the My Brother's Keeper education strategy team with a whole host of partners that are on this call today that says, you know what, I believe in you. I know that you can do it. And it's our job to remove those barriers and those systems that may be stopping you from getting into those universities and the schools that you would like to allow you to live your dreams. So I'm happy to be here, happy that we have the opportunity, and grateful to see where you're going in the future. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Ray. Next, Francisco.
Good afternoon, everyone. Really happy to join everyone on the call here today as we move to implement this transformative initiative. For all of those I have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Francisco Ruiz, and I am Improve Your Tomorrow Senior Policy and Advocacy Manager and the coordinator for the 1300 campaign. For all you that don't know, College for All started as an idea within the 1300 campaign with the vision that young men of color graduating from the most underserved and disadvantaged neighborhoods and high schools would be assured a guaranteed admissions pathway to Sac State or UC Davis, despite them being short of an outright acceptance to those institutions. And in the wake of the racial reckoning we see across the country and the murders of Dante Wright, Adam Toledo, organizations and institutions must re-examine themselves so they can do everything in their power to create equitable environments, free of racism and discrimination, and being intentionally anti-racist, which is what College for All is doing. With the clear understanding that what we've been doing before and for generations has not been working, and we must find ways to operate better. And I'm excited and hopeful that College for All will be that step forward towards an equitable future that our boys and young men of color rightfully deserve. And to all of our new College for All members, I want to make sure you all know that we see you, we see everything that you've had to overcome, and I applaud you all for making it this far. Don't ever forget that you are more than capable and worthy of higher education. And as you embark on this new journey, remember that you are not alone, and I'm confident that I can speak on behalf of everyone on this call here today that you will have our support along the way. And with that being said, I'll pass it on to Los Rios' Vice President of Educational Services and Student Success, Dr. B.J. Snowden.
Francisco, thank you. And wow, it's always tough to follow Francisco. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. As Francisco introduced me, he gave my title. I currently work for the Los Rios Community College District as the interim vice president of student success and enrollment management. But more importantly, I am a Florin High School graduate. I am a former Los Rios student. I am a former CSU graduate, and now I sit here as a leader in the community, participating in a program that is essentially a dream realized. So I just want to say thank you to the participants and the students. We want you in Los Rios. We want to serve you. We want to be your advocates. We want to be your springboard into whatever you want to do in your career and in your personal life. And on a personal note, I'm a huge fan of keeping talent local. So as someone who is matriculated through the education system and come back to Sacramento after getting that degree, it is amazing to see you here. And I am so excited to see what you will eventually achieve through education. So with that, welcome. And I'm looking forward to getting to know as many of you as possible.
Thank you. And last but not least, Dr. Edward Bush from CRC.
Good afternoon. As Ronaldo mentioned, my name is Edward Bush. I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the president of Cosumnes River College. And in my introduction, I want to make something abundantly clear. We don't just want you, we need you. You are doing us a favor by making the decision to attend Cosumnes River College. And let me tell you why we need you, because who you are and what you represent cannot be duplicated by anyone else. In your individual right, you are unique, coming with a special set of skills, talents, and calling that is going to make our institution better. That our college would not be complete if you do not enroll in our institution. We need you because you are a genius. We need you because of your intellect. We need you because you have already demonstrated an ability to be able to be resilient and resistant, to be able to defy and to beat the odds. We need you because you are talented. We are not waiting for what it is that you're going to become. We need you as you are now. That you are already potential realized. That we're going to grow and develop alongside of you. And we're not going to pour and develop something different than who you already are. You're just going to flourish as a result of being a part of our institution. And all of us would be better as a result of you being with us. So we need you to show up and to be present, to be fully engaged, to walk into our institution with the confidence knowing that you belong. And not only do you belong, you own it. Because it is your college, your classroom, your books, your curriculum, your services. And so 2 years from now, you are going to walk across that stage, prepared to transfer to Sac State and UC Davis, even more confident because you came through Cosumnes River College. It is a pleasure to meet you and welcome, welcome, welcome.
Amazing, amazing. If you are feeling inspired, put a 1 in the chat. Always get inspired when Dr. Bush speaks. Oh man, and this is perfect, right? Perfect segue into talking about why are we here? Why are you getting bombarded from mentors and people calling you about college for all, right? You keep hearing about college for all, about this opportunity and how great it can be. And if you haven't found out or realized why, it's because of you. All of the people here on this screen and even beyond, right? There's more people that took on, that are part of this table, so to say, are here for you. We're here for your success. You don't have to be an administrator, an educator, a practitioner in this work to know that there are challenges when it comes to men of color pursuing higher education. right? Especially during this time of COVID and distance learning, there have been additional challenges. There's been community challenges realized and amplified, right? Every single day, every single week, it seems. And we came to the table with all these partners and folks to decide and come to an agreement saying, hey, we acknowledge the challenges and we want to do something about it. And that's how this idea that Francisco mentioned earlier became College for All. What if, things weren't status quo? What if we made a difference and provided an opportunity and a pathway for students to not only get to where they want to go, but to be successful with the proper support that they need at all levels: community college, CSU, UC, in the community, for work, which I'll get to when we talk about the benefits. But really, why College for All? It's because of you. We want you to be successful because we know that every level, right? If you look at the data, right, more than half, about 62% of males of color go into community college. But as they continue to pursue higher education in terms of transferring and even getting and obtaining a 4-year degree, that percentage continues to decline along the way. So how can we, as practitioners and people that are trying to give you guys an opportunity, how can we properly support you to remove those barriers and respond accordingly to make sure that you have what you need to be successful, not only for yourself, but really for your family, for your community, as you become young men and adults and leaders in your communities in the future? So why College for All? It's because of you, and we're here to support you. The next thing I want to do, and this image just really just highlights the partnership again of who is at the table and kind of the direction that we're trying to go with College for All, starting with the 1300 campaign, Los Rios, and then heading over to CSU and UC Davis. But what I want to talk about, and before we get into kind of some more other information about the kind of the transfer process, because that is a huge piece of the College for All program, I want to highlight some of the benefits and how you participating in this program, how you'll be supported. So one of the first things that you may have already seen in flyers, or kind of, again, from the messaging that we've been sending out this last month and a half to you all, is earning up to $3,000 in grants in your first year of college, right? So after talking with a couple folks and partners, there's going to be ways where we can potentially even add Chromebooks, right? That's still kind of in the mix as well. But we want to be able to, again, provide opportunities for you all to be in a position where you're not struggling financially, that you're not worrying about things that when it comes to books and supplies, especially now that as we kind of get closer to the fall, as things become to start opening up, we want to make sure that you have what you need to be in a position to succeed academically and socially. So earning up to $3,000 in your first year. The next piece is being a part of the IYT Community College program, right? So I know some of the students on this call did not have IYT at their school. Awesome, but now you have the opportunity to be supported through this program with mentorship in your years that you will be serving and attending at a Los Rios Community College. We also have opportunities through IYT to be paid mentors, right? Through our fellowship programs, such as Noelle and other folks on this call, like Keyshawn and Jonathan, who are students that you will hear in about 20 to 30 minutes to hear from their experiences being college students and working with IYT. We have those opportunities for you all to participate in. And being part of the fellowship program, you are able to earn an education award that will help you for school, right? So not only you get paid to serve, but you also earn an education award for your school. So it's a great combination and benefit to you all. And in addition to that, throughout the year, as you continue to be part of this program, as we mentioned, you'll have a mentors, such as Major and other folks. You'll be doing career tours, different college tours, visiting UC Davis campus, Sac State campus, and other workshops that will help you to set you up for success. And lastly, there'll be other opportunities for scholarships and navigating kind of the career workforce development process. And I will be remiss to say, I know there's probably a lot of questions, even as I'm stating these benefits. If you do have a question, please, there should be a Q&A button if you're on your desktop or even on your phone. Make sure to type that out. We do have a Q&A portion towards the end. And Noelle is going to be kind of monitoring any questions that come in. So please feel free to, if you have any questions that come out throughout the program, please put them in there because we want to make sure to answer them towards the end. So the next thing that I want to do, I want to bring on one of my colleagues, Phong Tran. He is a transfer specialist at American River College. He's going to be going in depth into kind of like a high level overview of this transfer process. because again, that is our goal, right? As you being a part of a student, your starting point will be at Los Rios School, transferring within 2 to 3 years to either UC Davis or Sac State. So I want Fong to come in and kind of share a little bit more about that. So Fong, do you need to share your screen on this?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. So
And
you should have access now.
I just lost my screen. My bad, Renato. Can you just give me, oh no, never mind. I didn't lose it. Ha. Sorry about that, everyone.
No, yeah, no worries.
Slight
And real
technical
quick,
issues.
as Fong, as you're getting your screen up, let me do a quick energy check. If you are, I know this is a lot of information, but how are we doing on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 feeling I am pumped, I'm ready to go. 1, I'm a little tired, school got me a little drowsy, but I'm pushing through. All right, I see a 15, a 9.6, that's good. 100, 9s, 8s. Okay, awesome. Let's keep the energy high because this will be a lot of information, important information, but I want to make sure that it's valuable to you. So go ahead, Fong.
Thank you so much, y'all. Really appreciate the space and the opportunity to present to you all. I am, I grew up in Sacramento too. I actually graduated from Florence High and, a big fan of the community colleges. Also went to UC Davis. And so just a complete honor to be here. And, something that I learned just growing up is I'm totally a byproduct of the mentors and the people that has surrounded me. And being a first generation college student, raised by a single mother, if it wasn't for, mentors and the people that surrounded me, I wouldn't be here. So absolutely during this time, take advantage of the resources, the people, the connections, ask a lot of questions. For my piece, I'm just gonna break down the many options that you have as it relates to transfer and just kind of get that brain started in terms of thinking through what your college journey is going to be like. So even though you're starting at Los Rios, you should be thinking about what that next move is, because that's going to really plant the seeds and create the game plan for you to figure out what your 2 years at Los Rios are going to be, but also, what that ultimate bachelor's degree is going to be as you finish with either Sac State or Davis. And so I come from the transfer center at ARC, and there's a transfer center at each of the Los Rios colleges. And so we're all happy to, answer questions as it relates to transferring. And we work very much symbiotically with the counseling department, as well as the very many other student services units, just to help you in your educational journey. So just in the bigger scope of things, the end goal is for you to have a degree. And just because historically we know the market, the job market really demands for folks to be educated and have that have the paper, have the receipts to kind of really prove that you have the skill sets, the experience, to be in the job market. And historically, or just by data, we know that students that have bachelor's degrees and advanced degrees get paid more, have higher salaries. And with higher salaries, our ability to sustain ourselves, our livelihoods, our families, our communities, our ability to contribute. So we really want to envision and secure that for everybody in this space. So the process to do that is eventually from Los Rios is you transfer to a 4-year institution to get a bachelor's degree. And so you have a lot of options. And so I'm gonna kind of do a general broad brush of all the options, just so you know kind of what's out there. But really this program is to really emphasize the pathways to Davis and Sac State. And they are both amazing institutions, universities that provide, limitless options as it relates to majors and career paths. So you cannot go wrong with these two places, but I will be kind of breaking down a little bit about other institutions. So your biggest kind of options are going to be UC, University of California, as well as California State University, CSU. And so all of them are going to have different tuition brackets and whatnot. The big thing is maybe just kind of summarize, the culture is a little different, where maybe the classroom environment is a little bit bigger at the UCs while at the CSUs, there's a medium classroom environment. Theoretically, the UCs are much more theoretically oriented, meaning like they're very research based in their pursuits, while the CSU is much more hands-on. An example that I like to use is like, I went to UC Berkeley for my degree. My degree was social welfare. And so the counterpart at Sac State would have been social work. And yeah, just so that small, slight word distinction means that at the UC Berkeley or at UC, I studied about the system of the welfare and how it differed maybe from Europe, and the theoretical practice of like where welfare came from and what social workers do, and maybe the different theoretical frameworks that they use when they work with different clients. While maybe at Sac State, they would be learning more about the actual everyday practice of being a social worker and, research, referring resources to various clients. So you could apply that kind of metaphor to the different types of schools of thoughts as it differs between the UCs and the CSUs. And then you have privates and HBCUs, and those range a lot, and you'll need to do your own research as it relates to that. There's also a lot of for-profit universities like DeVry, National, a lot of the things that you might see on like social media or on Facebook or on TV. But, this program really focuses on, like I said, Davis and Sac State. So there are price implications, just so you have a reference point. But I do think that, you want to keep this in mind, but ultimately not make this the determination reason why you choose the path you choose. Because, IYT will provide the financial support for you to kind of meet the means of being at these institutions. So don't feel limited. Rather, just kind of know like you'll need to do financial planning one way or another. And the support is out there. It's just a matter of finding it. Okay. So, the big path as it relates to UC is called the IYT pattern. So essentially, these are the series of classes that you'll need to fulfill while at community college to be transferable to the UC, including Davis, right? And you can know a little bit more through assist.org about those classes. There is a tag agreement, meaning a guarantee. So this is a little bit specific to the transfer experience, where you can actually be guaranteed admissions as compared to being a high school admit, where you just apply and you just hopefully you get accepted if you kind of are in a general range of admissions. But with the agreement, as long as you fill a certain number of classes and by a certain standard and GPA, then you're guaranteed admissions, and you are notified that a little bit earlier than the general application window. Another big thing is to know is that there are 9 UCs. So Davis is one of them, Berkeley, Santa Cruz, Merced, and a slew of other SoCal universities. They're all options for you. So in terms of transferable, you'll need about 60 with a mix of electives and major prep. And so you are going to start doing, major specific classes in your community college in preparation of your transfer. So you should generally determine your major already. Okay. So this is more specifics to the tag agreement for UC, and know that the tag is only eligible for 6 of the 9 UCs. So that includes Davis, Irvine, Merced, Riverside, Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz. And the deadline for the tag is in September. And then you will still need to submit a November application, right? And so typically you do this a year prior to you transferring. So you don't want to, just plan and then just finish all your classes and then you just assume that you'll go, but rather you need to make sure you apply a year in advance almost. And so GPAs vary depending on the major and campus. But yeah, that's just kind of the general breakdown as it relates to the tag. And then I'll be kind of covering now the ADT, which is kind of the agreement component for CSU. So similar to UC, you'll have about 60 transferable CSU units made up of both GE, general elective, as well as major prep. There are 23 CSUs, including Sac State. So you have a lot of options, right? And so based on, if whether you're local, non-local, depending if you're in a competitive impacted major, the requirements are going to be different, all of which I'm breaking this all down to you. So know that you're going to need and should seek counseling, talk to your IYT mentors, and really touch base with them to really craft your education plan, and make sure that you're working with a professional to assure that you're fulfilling classes that meet these requirements. So I know I tossed a lot of information at you, but all of it is so you have a reference point of, what options you have, but also how you get there and what that path somewhat looks like for your first 2 years. Yeah, and CSUs also offer a spring admissions period. So most of the time you're going to be admitted in the fall. Most admits transfer in the fall, right? So like September, August, and you'll be needing to apply in November. But CSU actually offers a spring admission, so that their deadline is August to then start in January. So just to keep things in mind, we also have HBCUs, historically Black colleges. The California Community College system does have an agreement with some of the HBCUs, so know that's an option. And there's a slew of a bunch of other independent private universities out there, all of which, if you have one in particular that you have in mind, be very aggressive in terms of knowing what the requirements are, what major, and so you work with the counselor to prepare that education plan for you. Yeah, and there's probably even more than 77, but there's 77 as associated with the independent colleges and universities, AICCU. But even that, we have a Western undergraduate exchange where you could actually get in-state tuition. So as long as they're like in Washington, California, like Arizona, then you could actually get in-state tuition. And that kind of looks like this, where a normal out-of-state resident would be charged this much, but you would be charged this much as an in-state WUI exchange student. So just kind of putting that out as a reference point, but the big focus is of course Sac State and Davis, which is amazing options. And this is just a breakdown of the other services that we provide at the Transfer Center. So application assistance, general info on the four-year universities. We coordinate meetings with the university reps. Davis and Sac State typically are on each of Los Rios campuses once a week. So definitely connect with them. We also offer a full calendar of transfer workshops every semester. And hopefully in a normal environment, we would host university tours. And then we do the annual transfer day, transfer week, in September. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to break down, just so don't feel too overwhelmed. This is just kind of a beginning breakdown of what transferring and what the educational path looks like. So yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, and feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Phong. And before I toss it over to Major, any students that are going to ARC, make sure to connect with Phong and some of the transfer specialists there. CRC, Sac City, as Phong mentioned, there are transfer specialists there as well. So the next part, I have two exciting guests that I'll have Major introduce. Go for it, Major.
All right, thank you, Bernardo. So this is my favorite part. We got two individuals here, both started in the IYT high school program. Both are in the IYT CC program. And right now I'm gonna ask them a couple questions. If you students do have some questions, put in the Q&A and I'll definitely get to it. But first, I want Keyshawn to introduce himself, pass it to Jonathan, and then I get into the questions. So Keyshawn, if you mind introducing yourself?
Well, we go introductions. Are we just doing names?
Just do a quick
okay.
introduction, yeah.
Full name, Keyshawn Turner, third-year student, communications major at Consumer Server College, lead mentor for Improve You Tomorrow at Samuel Jackson Middle School. And I'll pass it over to Jonathan.
My name is Jonathan. I went to Valley High, currently at CRC, also third year. I'm also at Sac City though, because my major isn't at CRC, it's at Sac City, and that major is criminal justice. And I currently work. I used to work with Keyshawn at Samuel Jackson, but now I work at Edward Harris.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to pop in, ask a couple questions. Again, students, if you have anything, put it in that Q&A box. So first question, and I'm going to shoot this one to Keyshawn, and then after you shoot it to Jonathan. So the first question is, what was the most challenging part about your transition from high school to college, and why?
Balancing work and school. Because in high school I had a job, I worked at Cold Stone, but like my school schedule was very much set for me because like, you know, high school, you go to school every single day. So when I was at Valley, I had my classes, going to school, and then most days I was going to work, working night shift, go home, do homework, and repeat the process throughout the weekday. Then I got to college and it was a little different. It was like, hey, there's freedom. You don't have school this day. You only have work this day. You still have a weekend. Or you only have work this day. You don't have any school. You got the night to yourself. Nobody's really telling you to do your homework. You got to tell yourself to do your homework. So it was kind of like that accountability piece where you have to hold yourself accountable at all times. Whereas in high school, I could go to the IYT classroom before work and they'd be like, hey, you have this missing. You need to be doing this. Or you see a teacher in the hallway and they let you know you have this due tomorrow. So it's kind of just really recognizing how much you need to hold yourself accountable and making sure you have the right people around you when you're falling. So that transition hit me a little hard first semester, not even gonna lie. Did not do well my first semester, but bounced back that second semester. So definitely accountability.
I like that. I like that. All right, Jonathan, what about you? What was the most challenging part about your transition from high school to college, and why?
So my transition was a lot different from Keyshawn's. Like he had to focus on school and work. For my first semester, I didn't have work until my second semester when I started working for IYT. But it was probably like the structure of the classes. Like I was used to like the teacher knowing who I was, you know, and then they would be like, "Oh, Jonathan, I need you to work on this." And having that connection with teachers, it was more like you would go see them, do literally go to the lecture and like go home and just do homework and stuff. It was just like I needed that. I just missed that like that connection between the teachers. So that would probably be the hardest transition for me. It was just like that connection with probably the teachers. It was, of course, there's a lot more students, you know, and yeah.
Oh, cool. So it looks like you guys both had challenges, but it looks like you had to plan it out to overcome that. I like that. We do have a question in the Q&A portion. This one is targeted to Jonathan. So I'll answer or ask it, and Jonathan, if you can kind of respond, and then maybe I'll ask this to Keyshawn as well. So the question is, Jonathan, who is your favorite IYT program manager?
Oh, see, that's a hard one. Let me see if Keelan and Sean are in here because they were both my program managers. So we got Keelan and Sean in here. So I'll put it like this. Keelan literally coached me, you know, he taught me a lot of things. So I'm gonna say both of them because, you know, he was my old program manager and now I got Sean. So I can't really pick and choose, you know. That's just what I'm gonna say. Both of them. They're probably like mad about it.
But it sounds like both actually gave you a lot of support you needed.
Yeah, they did.
I like that. Keyshawn, I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. Who was your favorite IYT program manager?
Oh man, that's an easy answer for me. I got the same one since I started. It's Keelan Newsom by far because Keelan Newsom wears a lot of hats in my life. This man is like a life coach for me. He is my program manager. He is my brother. He is my boss. He is my barber. Whole lot of alliteration there. But yeah, so it's a real easy answer for me, Mr. Keelan Newsom. So most definitely my favorite program manager.
Thank you for sharing that. Keelan's getting all the love now. All
Yeah.
right, so definitely we getting questions in the chat. I love it. I know some of them is going to be answered towards the end, but if you do have questions for these two gentlemen, put them in there. But I have one question. I got two more. Next question is, what has your experience been like in the IYTCC program? Jonathan, I'll let you get this one first.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that my experience with IYTCC and IYT as a whole has always been great. I've always had a mentor behind me. First mentor that I remember was Michael Lynch, and then it was Elias Sanders, and then Kai. So I've always had a good experience with it. And they made the transition from IYT to IYTCC very easy for me personally. But either it was a lot of people could be like, oh, it was rough because it was IYTCC still wasn't like an actual program until like a year ago, and I've been at CRC for 3 years already. But the amount that it has grown in such a short time is just, I find it fantastic.
Oh, that is awesome. I'm glad that you are definitely getting that experience that you're going to need to kind of filter once you get into your career and moving on. So good stuff, man. Keyshawn, what you got for me, man?
Can you repeat the question so I don't go off on a tangent?
Yeah. The question is, what's your experience been like in the IYTCC program?
My experience with IYTCC has been nothing short of amazing, really, just because I've had support at every single turn, like very similar to IYT College Academy. So for our middle school and our high school brothers, and when I was a part of that, I've always been able to call a mentor, call somebody, any kind of staff, even if they weren't necessarily my mentor. And I mean for anything, money, books, housing, anything that's ever arisen. Like I know I can say for a fact, one of the IYTCC brothers, probably not on this call, but he was going through it and expressed it to me at my other job because we worked together, and he was going through it, and I was like, hey, call Jeff, call Renato, we'll get this situated. And then we got his whole family like in a brand new housing situation, like within 2 weeks. So it went from crisis to blessing almost immediately. And like to be able to be a part of a system and a program that can do something like that, like makes me feel better, because it's like I know that the support's always going to be there for years to come, as long as we get the continued amazing support that we already have from the amazing donors that we already have. So just my experience with IYTCC has just been amazing.
Man, that is awesome. Thank you. Thank you for saying that and sharing that. So we did have a question. I know, Keyshawn, you kind of touched on it briefly right now, but we do have a question in the chat. From you two gentlemen, your perspective, how far do you think IYT would go in the future? Meaning, where do you think we would go from this point on? I'll let Jonathan, what you got for me?
I don't know. I just see maybe a few years later, IYT expand into all of California. That would be really cool. And then probably because I want to say California has probably the most diverse state, or California is the most diverse state in the United States. So I think they could go to a lot of schools that have young men of color.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You hit it right on the nail. Keyshawn, what's up, man? What you got?
Very similar to Jonathan's answer. I definitely see us expanding in the next couple of years, far north and then far down south. I really want to see us just in the LA area, because I'm born in Inglewood, raised partly in Compton. So like that, and that's such a place where, very similar to Sacramento, we serve a lot of young men of color. And so knowing the demographics of that area, that would just be a true blessing. Even though there's great community work being done down there, I know we would only be of more support and help. So definitely seeing IYT in Southern California in the next coming years. That's where I see us, and that's where I want us to be.
Yeah, I totally agree as well. I hope Casper and Lynch is listening, because we definitely trying to get bigger and better. All right, last question I got for you two gentlemen. After you already have seen the benefits for the College for All program, I want you to kind of think about that, but how would you answer this question? How could an opportunity like College for All have benefited you if you were about to enroll into community college? Keyshawn.
Well, the perspective I had on community college, what in high school was very negative. I always saw like, because I went to Valley High School, CRC is right across the street. So literally Valley kids call it across the street university. You don't really want to go to across the street university. You know, I'm an AP and honor student. I'm sitting here like, I want to do more than just a 2-year, but it's because I didn't understand all the opportunities and all the benefits to go into a 2-year rather than a 4-year. Everybody's always pushing. You want to go to the 4-year college, the university, you want to go to the big school. And so you're not looking at the school across the street. You want to move out of the neighborhood. You want to do so much more. So had I had something like College for All, where it was truly pushing community college in a positive light, I would probably done it first because I wasn't supposed to be at CRC, but I'm glad that I'm at CRC.
Wow, that's powerful, man. Just like Renato said, great perspective. That is awesome. Jonathan, what do you think? How could have an opportunity like College for All have benefited you if you were enrolled into community college?
So kind of similar situation to that happened to Keyshawn. I was like eligible to go to Sac State, but I failed one math, like my math 3, which is my last year of math, like the second semester I failed. So I went to CRC. I was disappointed in myself. I was like, dang, I'm really gonna go to CRC. I was real upset with myself, you know, but it's not the end of the world. It made me realize like, oh, there's a lot of good things that enrolling into a community college. You know, for example, I met a really good I could consider him a mentor. And he's a counselor at CRC. His name is Mike Chappelle. You know, really good mentor. And that's one thing. But another thing right now, specifically because of COVID, I think it's a lot better to enroll at a community college because, like, you know, you're gonna get the same education there, and it's all virtual right now. You know, I mean, they're going back to a hybrid system, but then they're gonna keep a lot of classes still online. So it's kind of like, if COVID's gonna last another year, then might as well just spend that year at a community college. You're gonna, at the end of the day, you're gonna save money in paying for those classes, and then you're still gonna be stuck at home, you know.
Yeah, cool. Great answer. Yeah, again, students, I totally agree with Keyshawn and Jonathan. I personally went through a community college. You're going to get the support, and you're going to get that guidance that you definitely need, especially during this time. So, Keyshawn and Jonathan, thank you. I wish I had more time to give you more questions, but
Hey,
I appreciate it. Appreciate it all of it.
Major,
Go
I
ahead.
know we're on a time limit, but can I really just get this one question that was put in the Q&A?
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's a question in the Q&A, and it says, if you decide to work in the IYT program, what is it that you do? And that's a very interesting question because it depends on what you apply for. What me and Jonathan do as lead mentors, we have a caseload of anywhere between like 15 and 25 students that we work with at the given campus. College tours, internships, parent engagement, so keeping parents involved and on the same page as with you and the students that you work with, workshops, mentorship, study halls, and everything else that your campus provides for you, as well as the program manager and the program itself. You give students inspiration, you give the campus a certain feel of life, and you give yourself a new motivation to keep going. It's life-changing work, but it's not easy at really any point except for maybe the college trips. So if you want to work for IYT, you got to really believe in this. If it's something you're just on the fence about, it's probably not for you. And that's not to be rude or disrespectful, but this is work you need truly dedicated people to do. So if you're not 100% about the mission, keep looking.
I like that, man. Thank you again for sharing that. You got goosebumps on my arm, so thank you, because that's definitely true to the point. So at this point, I'm going to pass it on to Renato. Again, Jonathan, Keyshawn, thank you for giving your perspective. But right now, we're going to pass it on to Renato to kind of wrap things up.
Awesome. Thank you again, Keyshawn and Jonathan. Again, if you do have questions, please put those. We'll try to get those towards the end. We are wrapping up towards the tail end of 5 o'clock. So I want to make sure that we kind of talk about next steps for College for All. If you haven't, I want to say thank you to everybody that has already, for all the students. If you have already applied to College for All, thank you. That is the first step. If you are on this webinar and you haven't applied just yet, I want you to go to the website, IYTcollegeforall.org. The application's right at the top where it says apply now. Make sure you do that right after this call, right? And once you do that, the next step is for you to apply to CCC, which is going to allow you to create an account for Los Rios, whether you're attending CRC, Sac City, or ARC in the fall. Make sure you create that account. Should only take you a couple minutes, and that'll secure your enrollment in terms of going to a Los Rios school. The next part, right? If you've already done the College for All, if you've already done the CCC apply, you got your WID number. The next part, as Fong had mentioned earlier, is to connect with a counselor to get this education plan going. I know a student asked earlier on about the tag, getting more information about that. So as we move forward from here, and I'll talk about what's going to happen also on the next slide, but as you start enrolling for the fall, we want to make sure if you are planning to go to, if you have a goal to go to UC Davis, right, you're going to be doing the tag. If you have a goal to attend Sac State, you're going to be doing the ADT. We want to make sure that you're connecting with us as the IYT mentors and as a staff, as well as the Los Rios staff and specialists that can help you create a plan to make sure that you know exactly what you need to take, so you know exactly how long it's going to take you to get to where you want to go, whether that's UC Davis or Sac State. And the last step, I think this is a very important step, and as well as just an opportunity, is to enroll in a summer bridge program. And real quickly, a summer bridge program is just a program that's going to vary depending on the campus you're going, but really is to give you an insight kind of scoop of where you're going to be going in the fall, right? So a lot of times this can be anywhere from a week, 2 weeks, 3-week program. You're connecting with students that will also be attending in the fall. It's like a small community. They have different activities, getting you acquainted with the campus and different resources and service. So Summer Bridge, for the most part, my understanding, it is a free program, but you just have to sign up, right? So a lot of times, as we're you're hearing us from adults, right? The investment, it's not really a lot of times financially, but it's the sweat equity, as I would say, is, setting that time aside to hop on, apply, and doing what you need to do to set yourself up again for success. Before I get to the Q&A, because I know there was a couple questions, I'm gonna go back to this. I do want to make sure that you are marking your calendar from 2 weeks from tomorrow, Friday, May 14th, from 2 to 4 p.m. We'll be doing a small pop-up with Alina Sanchez. So Alina serves as our events manager. She's on the call. She'll be doing a small little pop-up, a grab-and-go barbecue kind of event, where you'll be getting some welcome kit for not only hopping on the webinar, but also for applying to College for All. You'll see here on the screen, you got your drawstring bags, a water bottle, face mask, all with the College for All logos and branding. So that will be happening in 2 weeks from tomorrow. Make sure you get this down, take a screenshot, do whatever you need to do, but we'll also be following up via text and email just to kind of remind you guys as we get closer to May 14th. So May 14th, Shasta Park, grab and go barbecue and some College for All welcome kit. All right. And while I have Major and some of the team get ready for the raffling of the gift cards, I do want to answer just a couple more questions from any of the students that are on here while we have some of the staff and other folks on here from the panel. So if you have any questions, feel free to put it on the Q&A button chat, and we'll make sure to get that to you within the next maybe couple minutes that we have left until 5 o'clock. And then we'll raffle off some 4 gift cards and then call it a day. Are there any questions that we can answer at this time?
There's can you keep in touch with IYT after you transfer to a 4-year university in case you need help? That is
Yeah.
Yes, yes, you are just a part of the IYT college. I don't know the official name for just our general college students, but you're an IYT college affiliate. If you go to Sac State or UC Davis, you will be a part of the program at that campus. We have actual programming at both campuses.
Yes.
But
That's
you don't
correct.
lose contact unless you try and block us.
That's right. And again, thank you, Keyshawn, because if we didn't mention it earlier, being a part of IYT, our mission is you're not done with IYT until you graduate from college, right? There might be some bumps along the way in terms of your path and your journey, but and I think David posted in the chat, it is IYTU. So that's the program, whether you go to UC Davis or Sac State, we have IYT programs that will continue to support you as you get your bachelor's degree there. So thank you for asking that question. A very easy question here. CFA just stands for College for All. It's just an acronym. So if you hear CFA, it stands for College for All. Any other questions that you all have? If not, we do have the spin wheel ready, I think, to get these gift cards to you guys. Okay, one more question just popped in. What is different from IYT, or the difference, I guess, between IYT? Yeah, so IYT is just the organization, right? So IYT has multiple programs at the middle school and high school level, as Keyshawn had mentioned. And then we also have our college programs, which is the community college, also known as IYTCC, and then our four-year college programs, which is IYTU. I guess the biggest difference is we're catering to the population that we serve, right? So, instead of giving snacks to 7th graders and 8th graders, we're giving some, maybe some hot meals to college students, right? That's probably a big difference. But also different things that cater to, the social aspect, workshops, conversations that we would probably want to have with a 13-year-old, but now we're having with a 20, 21-year-old at a college, right? They're talking about asking questions about career and internships, right? So those are kind of the things as we follow along the journey of young men, right? Young people, those conversations and the things that we offer are a little bit different. But really the IYT, the biggest thing that will tie us all together is the mentorship and the brotherhood. That is something that doesn't change. It just looks a little bit different. So on that note, just so I can make sure that we're leaving on time, is to get this gift cards. I know you guys have been waiting patiently for these gift cards. So Major Noelle, are we ready?
Yeah, Noelle, if you can share your screen, spin that wheel. The first gift card we're raffling off is which one, Renardo? Which one we want to choose?
Let's do the Amazon first.
How much is that again?
25. Each gift card is $25. So the first gift card is an Amazon gift card.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Noelle.
Our panelists on the wheel.
Oh, we'll get back to you on that one, Keyshawn.
Yeah. All right, let's see the first one. What is that?
David Gonzalez.
David Gonzalez. Woo!
Is he on the call here?
You on the call, David? You can put a 1 in the chat.
Oh yeah, he's on here. Yeah, he raised his hand real quick. So David, congratulations on the Amazon gift card. We'll make sure to follow up with you. Make sure you get that.
All right, next. What's the next one? What we got next?
DoorDash. We got DoorDash next. $25 for DoorDash.
All right, let's do this.
Let's see it. Let's see. Big money here. Big money. Ooh, brother Jad. Brother Jad. Jad, are you on the call, sir? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Congratulations, Jad, on the $25 DoorDash. Make sure not to tell anyone. They will ask you for some money. All right. Last 2 gift cards. We'll do another Amazon. Right. So we'll spin that wheel.
Come on. Big money, big money.
Amazon. Oh, you know what? Since Rudy can't technically win this, I'm going to have to go the name right below, which I think was Samaj. Sorry, Rudy. Samaj, I see you. Thank you for being on here. Congratulations on the gift card. I'll make sure to connect you with your PM. Yes, shout out to Florin. Last gift card for the day is another DoorDash, $25.
Let's do this.
Let's spin that wheel one more time. Thank you, Miss Noelle. Calvin Tran. Is Calvin? Yep, Calvin is still here. I see you. Perfect. Congratulations, Calvin, all the winners for the gift cards. We'll make sure to follow up. Make sure you get these gift cards in your hands. Thank you. Thank you. We are at 5:01. I thank everybody on this call, panelists, students, staff, community, really. We're excited for what's to come. I know this is only the beginning. Please be sure to be aware that we'll be sending out some more communication on the event that I mentioned earlier, and just kind of the next steps as we follow through, because really starting from here, you know, as you wrap up your senior year, this is where the hard work starts, but also the fun, right? So we're looking forward to meeting you all in person very soon and getting together. So in the meantime, thank you all. Have a great rest of your Thursday. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at our email or our website, and we'll be get to you shortly.
All right, you guys take care.
Have a great Thursday. Awesome. Thank you, Fong. Thank you, Don.